Hi, I'm Mike Zyda, and today's presentation is a walk through the Mike Zyda family tree on Ancestry.com. And Ancestry.com is kind of interesting. Way it works is it uses government and church records, baptismal records, marriage records, to tell you who's married to who is a child of who. And these records sort of originate probably starting about 1450s, 1470s, sometime then. And before that, there aren't really any written records or many written records of who our ancestors are. So, in a previous YouTube, I gave a presentation on 23andMe, and 23andMe has done historic DNA analysis, and the historic DNA analysis shows relatives of mine from 265 common era is AD, all the way up to 1,000 Common Era, and something on the order of 13 of those are Viking era relatives. Two of them are seafaring Viking warriors. One of them is an Avar who came from Mongolia or northwestern China. And then another one is a Celtic from 265 to 500 Common Era. They didn't quite know the exact time frame, but 265 Common Era is a long time ago. And it's that Celtic relative, DNA relative, was found at the bottom of the United Kingdom. But today we're just going to work using government records. And what I did was I built the relatives that I knew personally into a tree. And then I went above them and said, well, who were their parents? And then who were the parents of those parents? And moved all the way back. And so I'm going to start at the top of the tree. The top of the tree is the oldest relatives on that trail, and we'll try and tell you a little bit about them all. I'm not going to discuss them all because I'm just going to talk to the ones that are interesting, and let's start there. So I'm going to share Ancestry.com running in my web browser, and do that now. And here we are. Cool. So we're going to start out, at the very top of this is John Spencer, 1457, 1552, and Isabel Grant, 1474 to 1522. And I'm just going to say that they're the parents of this guy in the middle here, Sir Baron William Spencer. Let me bring up he is Sir Baron William Spencer, High Sheriff of Northamptonshire. And let's bring his profile up briefly, and then we'll get back to this page. And he is the 11th great grandfather of the wife of my granduncle. All right. But what's more important is that he is the 13th great grandparent of Lady Diana, Princess Diana, whose last name, of course, is Spencer. So let's go back. And his wife is Susan Knightley, 1498 to 1532. Sir Baron William Spencer is 1501 to 1532. And in fact, what's really interesting about this is that they both die in 1532. And that's kind of crazy. And they have a child who's born in 1532, who is right down below them, Lady E.J. Spencer. And we'll look at her. Her name is Lady Elizabeth Jane Spencer, and she's born in 1532, in the same year that her parents and mother died. So she could have been, uh, you know, anyway, it could have been a childbirth thing. I don't really know. I'll have to go look for it. Anyway, over here on the left of Sir Baron William Spencer is Sir. In fact, let me show you. Sir Grte Edworthy. Let's look at who he is. He's Sir George Richard Thomas Edwin Bragg Edworthy Field Wall Gokroger alias Platts Durban / Rainer. Okay, he's a Sir. Well, that's kind of cool. So at the top of my family tree, there's two sirs and there's a baron, and these are people who founded the United Kingdom and whose families continue to run the UK. Let's bring this up. You can see here's Simon Platt. Simon Platt, what is he? He is born in 1530, and he is married to Lady E.J. Spencer. This is Lady Elizabeth Jane Spencer, and profiles of her. Again, she's lived till 1598. She's the 10th great grandmother of the wife of granduncle, whatever that means. And she is related to Lady Diana. So let's go down this tree. In this tree, I think the next interesting thing is there's another Sir. This is Sir G.O.W. Platt. This is Sir George of Ware Taylor Platt, born in 1572, died in 20th of April, 1609. His profile, let's see if it says anything interesting. What is he? I don't see anything super interesting here, but he's a Sir, which is kind of cool. And again, these are all built on records. In fact, the ancestry sources you can see are right here. There's the timeline, and to the right of that is ancestry sources, which is all of the documents that put these facts together and help build this tree. All right. So his wife is Mary Sell, and let's see if she has a profile. And she is an interesting person as well. Just a few, not too many documents, because I don't think she was super important, other than she was the wife of Sir George of Ware. All right, let's move down. Below them, their children, one of their child is Deacon R. Platt. He's a deacon. What is he? What's a deacon? That's a church thing. And he is...
To unlock your iPhone.
My iPhone would like to come alive. It heard me say something that sounded like SIRI, but it wasn't really me. And he's the deacon. And let's move on. His wife is Mary Frances Wood Platt. Now, she's got interesting stuff in her profile. The interesting stuff in her profile is she is born in England, and she has a son born in 1623 in England. She is married to Deacon Richard Platt in 1628 after that. And then in 1630, she has a son, Gilbert Platt II, who is born in Henrico, Virginia. 1630, interesting time. 1620 is when the Pilgrims came to America. So this is just 10 years after that. There's a lot of relatives in my family tree who are from Henrico, Virginia. And I find that extremely interesting. But time-wise, that's pretty darn early in the course of this nation. So let's go down. We have Gilbert Platt, who is born, if you look at where he is listed, it says he's born in Henrico, Virginia in 1630, and he dies in 1692. Now, it listed as USA, but in 1630, this is British America. This is not the USA yet. So this is British America at that time. The colonies, maybe, is what they would call it. His wife is someone named Mary Shippey, 1638 to 1700. And, here we go. And she is born in Henrico County, Virginia, British colony. So you can see, again, there's the documents that show how she comes into this family tree. So we go down below to some of their children. They have a host of children. But we're going to see this one woman, Tabitha Platt, who I think is probably the interesting one here. Tabitha is born 1660 in Henrico County, Virginia. She's Tabitha Osborne Platt the 12th. All right. I think the 12 is there because there are a number of women who have this name. And again, she is born in Virginia. while it is still part of the British colony. All right. So let's go down. And her husband was Edward Osborne III. So let's go down, and there I have a whole host of children here. They have a Tabitha Osborne Branch Cheatham, and she is born in Coxendale, Henrico, Virginia, in 1677, and she dies again in Chesterfield County, Virginia colony of the British colony. Her husband is Benjamin Branch the First, 1665 to 1706. And if you look at him, he's born in colonial America. So people don't quite know what the name of this place is yet. And it lists him as dying in the United States, which of course is absurd. It's not the United States yet. Their children, they have Benjamin Branch II and Mary F. Osborne underneath that. And you go down to the next row, and you'll see Edward W. Branch, 1736 to 1781. Now, this is very interesting time-wise, because if you click on him, he is Lieutenant Revolutionary War soldier. He is born in 1736 in Manchester, Chesterfield County, Virginia. It says USA again. It's not yet USA. It's a British colony. It is British America. But by 1781, it probably is the USA because it's after the Revolution. So I think that guy's very cool. So I didn't realize that I had relatives who fought in the Revolutionary War, but wouldn't surprise me. We have Edward O. Branch, who is, again, Dorothy's third great-grandparents. You go down here, and he is born in Manchester Parish, Chesterfield, Virginia, and he dies in Ross Butler in Ohio. And I guess it's the United States by the time he dies. Let's go down. There's Bennett Branch, 1808 to 1875. And we keep going down. We're just kind of go fairly quickly here because there's too much to do in this short of a video. Here is Alan M. Branch and Sarah Carter. Alan M. Branch, let's see what he is. Born in 9th of April, 1841 in Butler County, Ohio, and died 15 June, 1875 in Ross, Clinton, Indiana. All right, let's go down below that, and we'll go, let's see, where do we go from here? Oh, yeah, so I find these guys are kind of interesting because over here on the left-hand side, there is a couple, Rose Branch and George P. Gardner. And Rose Branch is kind of interesting because underneath her are a number of children, one including Pauline Court. Pauline Court is actually Branch. That's her maiden name is Branch, and Court is, her maiden name. And her husband is Thomas F. Court Jr. Now, my mother's side of the family are all Courts. So if you go down to the left, if you move to the left, what you'll see is Pauline Court is one of her she is connected to, again, married to Thomas F. Court Sr. And we click on that. And what do we get? We get a fairly detailed set of relatives, but we really want to get all the way over. And again, we started from Pauline Court on the right here to go to the left to one of her siblings, who is Edward J. Court Sr., who is married to Mildred C. Werder, who is my grandmother. Mildred Werder is my mother's mother. So if you click on this, you'll go down below and you'll see all of the children who are connected to Edward Court Sr. And what you'll see on the left-hand side is you'll see Joseph M. Zyda, who is my father, and Teresa Veronica Zyda, who is my mother, deceased, both of them. And then the number of children is crazy, by the way. So you click down below, and you'll see there's Michael Zyda. He is there, I don't know, 10 times for some reason. And there's my sister Joan. And there's Dennis just one time. Christopher Zyda is in there a bunch of times. But what happens is you go all the way from Lady Diana's, Princess Diana's 15th great grandfather, all the way down to my family. In fact, we can go back once again to Thomas F. Court Jr., who is married to Pauline Court, and pop up to George P. Gardner and Rose Branch, and go all the way up to Alan M. Branch and Sarah Carter, and to Bennett Branch and Eliza Branch, and Edward O. Branch, to Julia Ann Epps, to Edward W. Branch of Civil War, not Civil War, the Revolutionary War fame. He's a lieutenant. Go up to Benjamin Branch II, Benjamin Branch I, Tabitha Osborne Branch Cheatham, all the way up to Edward Osborne III, Tabitha Platt 12, all the way up to Gilbert Platt II and Mary Chipley and Deacon R. Platt and Mary Frances Wood Platt, to Sir George of Ware, all the way up to Lady Elizabeth Jane Spencer and her husband Simon Platt, all the way up to Sir Baron William Spencer, High Sheriff of Northamptonshire, and the 13th great grandparent of Lady Diana, Princess Di. And when you go and look at the ruling family in the United Kingdom, you'll see many of the current ruling family all the way through time are Spencers. The Spencer family becomes the Spencer-Churchill family at some point in time. I was going to look for that because, of course, Winston Churchill is one of my favorite idols in life. Anyway, that's my quick tour through what you can find on Ancestry.com. You could find out that perhaps I'm in line to the throne somewhere. Nah, I don't know. Anyway, have a great day. This has been my walkthrough Ancestry.com. Have a great day.